Good morning, everyone. My name's Simon. Welcome to Simon's Trading Channel. I do a daily Bitcoin price action analysis. Before we get into it, and at last there's something to say that's different to the last 2 weeks. But before we get into that, I just want you to know that this isn't financial advice because I'm definitely not a financial advisor. I am a GP. All right then. So here's obviously the weekly's not too relevant at the moment. So this is the daily chart, and you can see when the Bitcoin price closed on the daily above the range that I was talking about yesterday, it gave this a slightly different look, and that's part of the reason I love to every morning look at the price action with fresh eyes and just have a look, see if you can draw on any logical lines. Now, I've put these two lines on here, one just showing this downtrend, picking out these bottoms here, and one showing this uptrend, picking up these, so far only really two bottoms here. What's interesting about them is WD Gann, who still has influence to this day. He was a big trader, very famous trader from the first part of the 20th century. And I'm by no means an authority on his work, and I don't really want to be either. But he talks about 45 degrees being an important um, trend line elevation. And I mean, he talks about other degrees as well, talks about 360 degrees, 360 days. He talks about all sorts of geometric things with regards to trading. But interestingly, and the reason I brought it up today is that this line here is roughly 45 degrees, 43. Remember, I've just drawn these on myself. And this here uh, is 45 degrees away from the north, if you like, that being about 135. So that's quite interesting. It doesn't mean much in the real world, but I just thought I'd bring it up as a point of interest today. So let's zoom down into some lower time frames. And the reason I'm doing this is to look at some potential targets if Bitcoin was to continue up over the next few days. So yesterday, we had a range high coming in roughly here, 43.5, I think I said it was. And Bitcoin nicely broke above, had a good 4-hour closure, which I was talking about. And then it's gone a little bit higher overnight. Now, what would be delightful for my trading mind would be before it does another bit, this is an hourly, so before it does another big leg up, I would love this to happen. I don't know if it's going to, but I would love it to pull back to this breakout area like I talked about yesterday with stop losses and wicks down to range break areas and then go up from there. And the reason I would love that is that I would be so pleased to get back into a long or add to a long position from this kind of area. It may not do that because clearly I can't predict the future and no one can. But that would be amazing if it did that. Now let's just presume it doesn't do that and it marches on up. If it does indeed march onwards and upwards from here, which as I say is a presumption and I would like it to pull back first, but let's just pretend that it doesn't do that. Let's come back to this 4-hour chart. It's easier to see. What I'll do now is so yesterday my range break line was here, but now that Bitcoin has moved up, I'm going to have a support resistance line just about here. No, I don't want a trend line. I want a support resistance line, which I like to do in blue. And I think you can see why I'm putting it there. It's these highs, that wick low, etc., etc. That would be a nice higher time frame support resistance. So, you wouldn't want to see a daily closure back below there for continuation, I would suggest. You can see loads of shorter term price action below there. And I would like some shorter time frame price action below there, but maybe not daily closures. Then the next area that I would look for as an interesting area for price maybe to be attracted to would be 46, basically. There's going to be a bit of, it's probably somewhere between like, no, not 46, 45.5. I take it back. But it's probably somewhere more likely between 45 and 45.5. And that should probably be treated as resistance until it's broken above and remains above. You could put another one in, but I'm not sure that's particularly wise at this point because, maybe it will break through that area today. But if you're being sensible, then you would suggest that that's a good area to look to for the next day or so, maybe into the weekend. But who knows? If it did bust on through, then maybe 47,000 would be an interesting target. I don't have that as a target right now. And I think there's also an intermediate target, sort of 46,200, something like that. So for now, I think it's reasonable to have, personally, 45.5 as a little kind of outpost to look at for the next few days. I would love a pullback into this kind of area, which was the breakout area, followed by more upside. But with regards to more upside targets, I think 45.5 is a reasonable one to have at the moment. So that's upside. What would make this all just a big bull trap and annoy the hell out of everyone? Well, back below yesterday's, so quite a few closures, at least on a 4-hour, and I'm going to draw this as maybe a dotted line back below this area, which I'll draw as a dotted line, which was yesterday's breakout. So if Bitcoin does start to close 4-hourlies back below there, then, probably more downside. I'm probably not going to talk about downside targets at the moment because it appears to be in an uptrend with a sequence of higher highs and higher lows. And so that pretty much covers it for today. Got too many lines on here at the moment, and you can delete this one for now, or I can delete that one for now. So I think the take-home message is, looks like more upside. That's all negated with 4-hour closures back below probably 43, somewhere between 45 and 43, somewhere between 43.5 and 43, and then look for re-entries along the way. I think a realistic target for more upside would be 45.5. I'll leave it at that, just under 10 minutes. Hope you enjoyed that, and come back to it tomorrow, see what's happened. Take care. Have a good Thursday. See you tomorrow.